customs and port officials to make these facilities work and not to frustrate business.
Shipping and port services made easy as President Muhammadu Buhari inaugurates Kaduna Inland Dry Port.
We are strongly committed to linking all major commercial and production centers as well as state capitals with railway systems.
Federal government restates commitment to linking state capitals in Nigeria by rail.
Exercise today is what are the causes of this problem? How did we get into it and how do we get out of it?
Joint Committee of the National Assembly on Petroleum Resources engages relevant agencies on the way out of persistent fuel crisis. And calm returns to Makurdi just as the federal government vows to fish out the perpetrators of the recent killings in Benue State. Good evening and welcome to the news on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. We are live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. I am Ronke Kolawole. Ademola Adeoye joins us from Lagos, and Mohammed Ibrahim is in Makurdi, in the Maiduguri Network Center. President Muhammadu Buhari has restated the unshakable resolve of his administration to ensuring that all major commercial and production centers, as well as state capitals in Nigeria, are linked by rail lines as part of the 25-year strategic master plan. This is said is not a statement of intent, but a benchmark for measuring the performance of the governing APC. The president was speaking at the launch of 2 new standard gauge locomotives and 10 executive passenger coaches for the Kaduna-Abuja commercial train service at Rigasa Station. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
Launching the new standard locomotives and the passenger coaches, President Muhammadu Buhari described as pleasing that since the flag off in July 2016, the Abuja-Kaduna train service has not only become very useful, but the preferred mode of transportation for commuters. With the facilities now provided in response to the huge demand for the service, trains can now take off at the same time from both Kaduna and Abuja. President Muhammadu Buhari acknowledged with satisfaction the high sense of responsibility and commitment being exhibited by the Ministry of Transportation towards ensuring that Nigeria achieves the objectives of providing a functional and efficient rail system to those in need. The work, he however said, is not done yet until the country develops its rail system to a world-class standard.
Let me once again reassure Nigerians that we are strongly committed to linking all major commercial and production centers, as well as state capitals, with railway systems as a way of bringing about rapid social economic development and improving the quality of life of the citizens and promoting national integration.
President Buhari expressed delight that a number of projects are progressing satisfactorily, especially the Lagos-Ibadan segment of the Lagos-Kano double-track standard gauge rail line scheduled for completion this year. The federal government, he said, is also keen to start additional critical projects linking Lagos to Calabar as well as Kano to Maradi in Niger Republic as part of the regional railway interconnectivity in the ECOWAS sub-region.
Other supporting projects which have been approved are the procurement and more locomotives, coaches, wagons, workshops, and equipment that will be used for new standard lines.
Permit me, Mr. President, to acknowledge and appreciate your effort at making railway revitalization and modernization a top priority. This indeed is a clear demonstration of this government's commitment to accomplish a functional and efficient national infrastructure, of which a functional railway transport system is key. Such commitment has not only translated into tangible ongoing rail projects, but also into practical outcomes that touch the lives of Nigerians.
The people of Kaduna State should know that henceforth there will be a fast train service that will take you to the heart of Abuja in 1 hour 15 minutes, so there is no need to drive your car.
While the government creates a more conducive environment for private sector participation, it looks forward to a more efficient rail service on the narrow gauge lines. From Rigasa in Kaduna State, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the hinterland business community in Nigeria now has the opportunity of accessing shipping and port services without necessarily visiting the seaports. This followed the inauguration of the Kaduna Inland Dry Port, one of the 7 earmarked for execution as part of Nigeria's economic diversification policy. President Buhari, who performed the ceremony at Kakuri area of Kaduna Metropolis, warned against unnecessary bureaucratic bottlenecks capable of jeopardizing the container revolution. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo again reports.
As a center for transshipment of sea cargo to inland destinations, the Kaduna Inland Dry Port has the capacity to handle about 30,000 tons of cargoes yearly and estimated to generate no fewer than 5,000 direct employment. And for the Kaduna business community who had waited for too long, this is a dream come true. President Muhammadu Buhari said the development of inland dry ports is a critical factor in the nation's economic development efforts. He expressed delight that importers and exporters within the nation's hinterland are now provided the opportunity of not only clearing and taking delivery of their import cargoes close to their places of business, but also process, package, and forward their exports to customers the world over without visiting any seaport.
It remains for customs and port officials to make these facilities work and not to frustrate business, commercial and industrial enterprises with unnecessary bureaucracy and inflicting on them delays and hardships, thereby defeating the object of the whole exercise as has happened in the past. Make these facilities work this time.
While commending the initiative of the Nigerian Shippers Council in promoting the provision of these modern transport infrastructural facilities, the President urged the concessionaires of the other 6 inland dry ports to ensure early completion so as to be put to use immediately.
With the full complement of 7 dry ports, congestion at the seaport and traffic gridlock in the port complex will be eliminated. Consequently, the cost of transportation and therefore cost of doing business will be reduced.
Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai of Kaduna State and the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, said a dry port which replicates the port economy will not only contribute to the ease of doing international business, but also enhance the nation's economic well-being.
We're building a brand new concrete road that will take the weight of the trailers and the containers. In addition, on the request of the concessionaire, we're building a second access road to ensure that there is no congestion around this area.
The dry ports were conceived as part of government's port reform program to facilitate efficient cargo delivery to the hinterland, provide access to port services, stimulate economic development, boost export and import, provide employment opportunities, and increase revenue generation.
The other 6 inland dry ports already concessioned are located in Abuja, Oyo, Plateau, Kano, Katsina, and Borno states. From Kakuri, Kaduna, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And correspondent Oyinaya Kaluoka in this report highlights the benefits of the newly inaugurated dry port and standard gauge locomotives in Kaduna State to the Nigerian populace.
Meanwhile, at the newly commissioned inland dry ports, cargoes have started arriving from the Lagos seaports. As delighted key players say, it is a commendable initiative.
They've done the best thing that could happen to the maritime industry.
Very viable project.
It is a very good landing. It brings the people closer to the port.
They will see the difference in reduction in cost of transportation,
in the ease of doing business.
But then, looking at the ripple effects, how does an ordinary ginger farmer in Kaduna State, which is in high demand in different parts of the world, benefit? At the central market, we met Ibrahim Lawal, a popular trader of ginger.
We take our ginger to China, America, and other parts of the world. We are happy with the project.
Federal government is working towards opening up inland dry ports in the 6 geopolitical zones and interconnecting the country through rail. Uhinaya Kalo Oka, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari's visit to Kaduna to inaugurate some projects has once again brought to the fore the public trust and confidence in his administration's bid to make Nigeria great. Muhammad Abubakar has that report.
We are strongly committed to linking all major commercial and production centers, as well as state capitals, with railway systems as a way of bringing about rapid social economic development and improving the quality of life of the citizens and promoting national integration.
Assurances like this and accompanying them with actions, among other attributes, are perhaps some of the reasons why Nigerians never relent in showing their love for President Muhammadu Buhari at the slightest opportunity. Not even the acute fuel scarcity and the extremely cold weather condition across the north could deter people made up of the young and the elderly from trooping to the Rigasa terminus and as well line up along Mando Birnungwari Road, alike Iluwe, Independence Way, Constitution and Akache Roads in Kaduna Metropolis to catch a glimpse of the personality they so much love, adore and cherish. Nothing is more encouraging and heartwarming to a leader the world over than to be appreciated and encouraged by the same people he leads, as demonstrated in Kaduna by some Nigerians on their president. In Kaduna, Muhammad Abubakar, NTA News.
And now to energy matters. Identifying the root causes and providing solutions to the nation's fuel crisis of the last Christmas period were the issues dominating the investigative hearing convened by the Senate and House Committees on Petroleum Downstream. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adeguloye reports that submissions were made by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ibe Kachiku, Group Managing Director, NNPC, Mekanti Baru, and other stakeholders in the sector.
This investigative hearing afforded Nigerians the opportunity to get first-hand information from those relevant agencies and those concerned about what caused the hardship to Nigerians over the festive period. Minister of State Ibe Kachiku and others give their submissions on the factors militating against steady supply of petrol.
We expect you to tell us the reasons of this fuel crisis, and we will remind you that we know the Federal Executive Council gave you orders to go out and stamp out this problem and leave it in the board.
Major marketers and major players in this industry stopped importation because of the price differentials between landed cost of product and the price of seller pump stations. So that's probably the most dramatic effect of what costs their participation typically. Traditionally, you will have both sides complementing each other, NNPC importing, players in the industry importing. But once that happened about October, I think, or November, what you then found was NNPC took on the burden of providing 100% supply to the market. But also added to that is the fact that whenever you have this sort of situation arise, people take advantage of it. And so you will see that there were lots of diversionary issues also.
The real cause of the payment scarcity was a rumor in the media, particularly the social media, that there is going to be an increase in the price of payments.
Almost every marketer around the nation, this filling station, has been found wanting.
For us, the main issue is supply shortage. We, the private sector, did not participate. Our concern is to access this product at approved government price, and we shall sell at approved government price all of our retail outlets.
Recommendations to bring an end to this recurring theme include getting the nation's refineries up and running, increase the import and supply quota of the private sector, thereby relieving the burden on the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC). Members of the Joint Committee were very keen to know the filling station defaulters with a view to stepping up sanctions, while other key issues such as infrastructure deficits in the sector were also considered. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
And now to security issues. Calm has returned to Makurdi, the Benue state capital, following protests embarked upon by youth as a result of the recent attacks in some parts of the state that led to loss of lives and property. The protests, which paralyzed economic activities, has been put under control through concerted efforts of the government and security agencies. Bem Hanya has that report.
Early in the morning of Wednesday, youths in their numbers converged on the Boko Road roundabout in Wurukum area of Makurdi town to register their protest over the killings in the state. The gridlock that was caused on this highway can be better appreciated with the fact that it links the northern and southern parts of the country across River Benue. Governor Samuel Otom, who was in the State Security Council meeting, had to break midway to go and address the protesting youths who refused to calm down.
You must listen that we cannot surrender our land to herdsmen.
The governor, while calling on the federal government to send in additional troops to stop further attacks on the people, called on youths to exercise restraint and not to take laws into their hands, as government will not rest on its oars. A combined team of the army, police and other security operatives has since dispersed the protesters. In Makurdi, Bem Hanya, NTA News.
Minister of Interior Abdurrahman Dambazo has assured the people of Benue State that the federal government will fish out the perpetrators of the recent killings in the state. He stated this after a visit to the Totiv, as well as victims of the Benue crisis at the Benue State University Teaching Hospital, Makurdi. Bem Hanya reports.
Among the places visited were the Benue State University Teaching Hospital, Makurdi, where he commiserated with the wounded. The minister was also at the residence of the Totiv, His Royal Majesty Professor James Ayatse, and he conveyed the condolences of Mr. President and stated that the culprits will be identified and brought to book. The Totiv commended the minister and president for the concern and further said the people will only be comforted if those who openly threatened to mobilize and attack the state after the passage of the anti-open grazing law are prosecuted because of their complicity in the killings. While at the government house, Makurdi, the minister coincidentally met the forum of federal and state lawmakers from Benue State and representatives of Benue women who came to register their grievance over the perennial attacks on the people.
Prohibition of open grazing have come to stay.
The Agro Rangers project is on. We are finalizing the issue of training because they require specialized training. We have assembled them. They are coming out of the Civil Defense Corps.
Meanwhile, security has been beefed up in the areas affected by the crisis to avert any further attacks. In Makurdi, Bem Hanya, NTA News.
In the meantime, additional personnel are to be redeployed to areas affected by crisis in Benue State to forestall the breakdown of law and order, particularly in border areas of Nasarawa State. Deputy Inspector General of Police Operations Habila Joshak said this in Lafia during an emergency meeting to review security strategies. Joshua Ojito reports.
The security meeting was attended by all heads of security agencies in Benue and Nasarawa states. The recent attacks in some communities of Benue State, which led to the loss of lives and property, was discussed and lasted for more than 4 hours. Consequently, the meeting agreed to beef up security and intensify surveillance and patrol in the two states. The Deputy Inspector General of Police, Habila Joshak, appealed to residents of the two states to cooperate with security agencies while appealing to them to go about their lawful duties.
We are taking an assessment. We want to look at what we call reconnaissance of the area and the needs for security, and the next action to be taken has been discussed. You will see a robust security all round to ensure that lives and properties are safe.
Meanwhile, the Deputy Governor of Nasarawa State, Silas Agara, visited the displaced persons from the Benue incident who are taking refuge in the communities of Kiana and Aweluku government areas. He directed the State Emergency Management Agency in partnership with the State Ministry of Health to provide relief materials and medical support.
We are very grateful to our security agencies that have deployed their personnel to ensure that the lives and property of these people are protected.
There is no cases of breach of peace by the displaced persons. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Also, Minister of Agriculture, Audu Ogbe, has expressed concern over the frequent clashes between farmers and herders, despite measures being put in place by government at all levels to address the security challenge. The minister was reacting to the reported killings in a farming community in Benue, Kaduna, and Rivers State. Musa Baba Aliyu has the details.
Clashes between farmers and herdsmen remain a threat not only to national food security, but also to the unity and socio-economic development of the country. Minister of Agriculture Audu Ogbe, who described the recent reported clashes in some parts of the country as unfortunate, stated that the ministry will continue to collaborate with all relevant security agencies to address the challenge.
We do hope, however, that as the economy grows and people get busier, this degree of desperation and anger and venom will definitely decline and come to an end. But we're sad, and we do pray that every Nigerian will continue to pray to God to bring us freedom and relief.
The minister met with officials of the National Animal Institute of Nigeria, where issues on how to develop livestock industry were discussed. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. We have more reports on security after this timeout. Join us again.
Wow, Chief Mike, how are you? Fine. I'm going to Sun office for the certification of my wheat flour.
Oh no, things have changed. Sun has simplified all its activities. You could have even stayed back in Kano and process all your papers online. Whoa.
With the efforts of Sun, the products of SMEs can now compete globally. Sun has put in place necessary machineries in support of the growth of SMEs. At highly subsidized charges, SMEs can now get their certification, laboratory testing of their products, as well as purchase of standards. Meanwhile, Sun is carrying out massive seizure of substandard goods in the market and have gotten legal backing to prosecute offenders, all to protect consumers and SMEs. Sun, improving life through standards.
Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds, pitch by my doorstep, singing sweet songs. Our melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing. Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Cause every little thing is gonna.
There's no limit to what you can do with data. With Nigeria's widest data network, it's amazing what you can make happen on MTN.
This is my message to you.
Whenever pain occurs, you want quick relief. Try Nurofen Express. It goes to the source of pain and gets to work in under 15 minutes. That's why Nurofen Express delivers fast and effective relief. Nurofen Express works at the source of pain. Fast.
Being a mom is great, but when your child has a fever, you don't know what to do. I trust Nurofen for Children to take care of my child's pain and fever.
Effective relief you can trust.
We want to buy Indomie noodles. 4 packs, please.
Yawa.
This is not my Indomie.
Please, sir, if it's not Indomie, don't call it Indomie.
Sir, the taste is the difference. The difference is in the taste. That's why my brothers, my mommy, my daddy, and I all enjoy our delicious, so very delicious Indomie noodles.
Season's greatest from Indomie. Indomie. Tasty nutrition, good for you.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant. To achieve our creed as we promise, we shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Kehinde suffers from indigestion. His twin Taiyi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
Slavery is an evil practice abolished all over the world over 200 years ago. But today, human traffickers are selling human beings as slaves in Africa. It is your responsibility to make sure that you and the people you know do not fall into slavery. Don't believe fake promises of jobs abroad.
People went to say Libya, Italy. Italy no use you when they carry me on top water. 4 days now they lock me for inside house, no food, no water. I nearly die. Now God, when me heaven and earth, now save me. If you get 1 naira for Nigeria, you get junior one, you say you no get papa, you no get mama, now make you come out. I beg go they do farm work. You better pass person when enter road.
Don't accept to travel to Europe through the Sahara Desert. You may be walking into slavery. Don't be a slave.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Glad to know you're still watching the NTA Network News. 15 suspects have been arrested by the FCT Police Command in connection with the communal clash in Buhari Area Council. This was disclosed by the Commissioner of Police, Abubakar Sadiq Bello, on the assessment of security operation during the festive period.
FCT Commissioner of Police, Abubakar Sadiq Bello, revealed that the deployment of officers and men of the police force to strategic locations in the territory, stop and search at flashpoints, as well as intelligence gathering, were some measures used by the police which led to the arrest of 15 persons in connection with the Buhari incident.
We were able to get some of those that actually started the problem. We got about 2 of them. In fact, the Inspector General of Police even actually approved the deployment of 3 additional PMF units.
While appreciating the partnership with the residents, he urged them to continue with the collaboration as the police is committed to improved service delivery in 2018. In Abuja, Aina J. Outa, NTA News.
And still staying with security matters, light at the end of the tunnel for abducted Chibok girl. Mohammed in our Maiduguri studios is on standby with details. It's over to you now, Mohammed.
Thank you, Ronke, and welcome to Maiduguri. Troops of Operation Lafia Dole have rescued one of the Chibok girls abducted by Boko Haram terrorists in 2014. Theater Commander Operation Lafia Dole, Major General Rogers Nicholas, disclosed this while briefing the press in Maiduguri. Maimuna Garba reports.
The theater commander, Major General Rogers Nicholas, said the girl was rescued on Thursday by troops in Pulka, pointing out that the girl was identified as Salome Pogu and was intercepted in company of another young girl with a child.
Operations are going across the Semester General area, as you can see. And as a result, this morning, one of the Chibok girls was rescued. They are here with us. They are undergoing medical treatment, and thereafter we'll hand them over to the state government for further administration.
Major General Rogers Nicholas also said some islands were captured from Boko Haram terrorists Thursday morning by troops and recovered large quantities of weapons in the northern fringes of the theater. During the operations, the theater commander disclosed that over 2,000 persons were rescued and over 200 Boko Haram terrorists surrendered to the military. Major General Nicholas further said the recent rescheduling of curfew timing in Maiduguri was based on operational exigencies and security reports. He said the curfew will be reviewed when satisfied with the situation. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
7 local government desk volunteers of National Emergency Management Agency Northeast Zonal Office, Borno State, have been urged to step up surveillance in their communities in view of the resurgence of pockets of suicide attacks in the state. The zonal coordinator, Bashir Idris Garga, stated this during an emergency meeting with the desk volunteers in Maiduguri. Abubakar Mohamed Musa completes the report.
The emergency meeting between the Northeast Zonal Coordinator of NEMA and desk volunteers of the agency from the 27 local government areas of Borno is to discuss strategies as well as measures towards averting further attacks on soft targets by Boko Haram insurgents. Presenting some security tips to the desk volunteers, the Zonal Coordinator NEMA Bashir Idris Garga says effective collaboration with security agents as well as close supervision of happenings around their communities are key in eliminating terrorism and therefore charged the volunteers to be proactive. He condemned in strong terms the recent suicide attacks on Gamborungala and Kalabalgi, which claimed innocent lives with many others sustaining various degrees of injury.
As an agency saddled with the responsibility to tackle matters of disaster risk reduction, it is within our own purview to dole out some safety tips for these desk officers so as to reduce the vulnerability of the people in the face of these looming threats.
On behalf of the desk volunteers, Yusuf Gulumba and Gambubulama commended NEMA for reawakening their security consciousness and assured to remain alert. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Mohammed Musa, NTA News.
And that's all for our contribution. It's now back to Ronke in Abuja.
Thank you, Mohammed. Our next story is related. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, says it will continue to evolve more effective distribution plans for delivering relief materials to internally displaced persons in the Northeast. This is to check attempts to divert the materials by racketeers. Ilyas Wali Yakubu examines the new modality for distribution by NEMA.
The federal government Emergency Food Intervention Initiative in the Northeast was inaugurated by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo in June 2017 to address the incessant food shortage in various IDP camps and also depart from the undignified practice of forcing IDPs to queue for food to a more refined and effective distribution plan. This distribution plan starts from loading centers with security cover and well-certified weigh bill as well as tracking to the point of delivery. Available statistics show that over 50,000 metric tons of grains have so far been dispatched to the Northeast under the federal government emergency food intervention from June to December 2017. The breakdown shows that over 16,000 metric tons of maize and more than 5,000 metric tons of sorghum have been deployed to the Northeast, and over 8,000 metric tons of soybeans as well as 12,000 metric tons of rice have been delivered.
But rather we'll be distributing the food using a door-to-door method. We're also incorporating a voucher system which will not only make the process of relief distribution transparent, it will improve our own data collection.
We have devised means to bring sanity to humanitarian intervention by ensuring that the core humanitarian principles are respected. The provided food items will be taken from door to door to the people.
Since the inauguration of the program, NEMA has been adopting measures to ensure delivery to actual beneficiaries from the point of loading in various centers of Kano, Gombe, Katsina, Jigawa and Nasarawa State to the point of delivery.
Each of these vehicles are attached with tracking devices which allow the NEMA headquarters and the Nigerian police headquarters to be able to monitor the movement.
We appreciate this federal government gesture. This is unprecedented. We will remain eternally grateful.
The beneficiaries urge the federal government to continue with this distribution plan to enable the IDPs have access to adequate assistance. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliyakubu, NTA News.
And to other news, legal experts have been called on the Nigerian judiciary system to give more prominence and respect to the customary laws of the various parts of the country to help in reducing the burden of conventional courts. The call came at a special valedictory court session held for the retiring president of the Customary Court of Appeal of the Federal Capital Territory, Justice Moses Bello. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okeowo has that report.
They call him the doyen of customary law in Nigeria. He was the pioneer president of the Customary Court of Appeal in the Federal Capital Territory, a position he has held since 1992, 26 whopping years. So when a man like that retires, everyone who has followed his specialized career in the judiciary uses the forum to call for the strengthening of the sector he has worked so hard for.
A classic case of ensuring that justice gets to the grassroots and to those who desire and need it most.
In this context, I can confidently say that Honorable Justice Moses Bello biography, as eloquently captured in his curriculum vitae, demonstrates that hard work, perseverance, focus, and teamwork are necessary qualities in the building of a successful career in public service.
In addition to several other things, successfully fighting for the original jurisdiction of the Customary Court of Appeal was the high point of Justice Moses Bello's tenure as president.
The rural dwellers of the FCT, with this regard, I am pleased to state, as the Chief Judge has said, that we have 44 functional customary courts spread across the FCT.
The first customary law report of the FCT Customary Court of Appeal was presented to the public at the special valedictory court session. In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
Away from the judiciary, 14 commissioners have been sworn in by Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, with a call on them to shun all vices capable of undermining their integrity and status at their new places of assignment. Dauda Mohammed reports that 3 women are among those sworn in.
14 members of the State Executive Council sworn in include 7 that had earlier served as commissioners before the dissolution of the cabinet and 7 new ones. Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello commended the state legislature for its maturity during the screening exercise of the commissioners.
This administration is determined to ensure meaningful development in the state. Therefore, every member of the council must bring to bear their wealth of experience on their new assignment.
4 ministries are yet to have commissioners. Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
Nigerian Customs Service presents 2017 scorecard. Let's get details of this from our Lagos Network Center with Ademola as our guide. Good to see you, Ademola.
Good to see you too, Ronke. Thank you for joining us in Lagos. Good evening. The Nigerian Customs Service says due to due diligence and better motivational initiative by the leadership of the service are largely responsible for the record-breaking 1.4 trillion naira revenue collected in 2017. Deputy Controller of Customs, Joseph Atta, stated this while presenting the scorecard of the Nigerian Customs Service in the year 2017. Musa Toliat completes the report.
The Deputy Controller of Customs, Joseph Atta, stressed that the 2017 revenue generated by the service was unprecedented.
He said there was need to highlight the activities of customs that contributed to the achievement. DCC Atta said the Enabling Customs and Excise Management Act, as well as the reinvigoration of anti-smuggling operations, also played active roles in the revenue drive of the service.
This action raked in a total of 4,492 assorted seizures. These seizures include the 2,671 pump-action rifles, dangerous illicit drugs, vehicles, rice, etc.
Atta emphasized that the e-auction platform launched by the Controller General of Customs to make assorted vehicles available to Nigerians through online auction contributed more than 272 billion naira to revenue generation in the year under review. Part of the scorecard presentation was on security and transparency in the distribution of seizures, including rice and perishable items to IDP camps in Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, and Edo states. According to DCC Atta, more stringent measures will be put in place to check smuggling and ensure better revenue generation for the country this year. In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this timeout. Stay with us.
Cold and flu can spread through the contact of hands. And in such situations, I can't risk falling ill. So I recommend Dettol, as it protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs. That's why I want to be Dettol sure. Dettol, be 100.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
For the last 24 years, NAFDAC has made steady progress in ensuring that the health of the nation is protected. Our collective responsibility is eliminating substandard, falsified, and unsafe drugs, medical devices, foods, and water.
I urge all Nigerians to support NAFDAC in safeguarding our health. God bless Nigeria.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
It's that time of the year when we appreciate all those that mean so much to us. Our sponsors, our clients, government at all levels, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, businesses, and above all, you, our esteemed viewers. Together, we made 2017 great. Together, we shall make 2018 even greater. That's why we say thank you. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Thank you so much for inspiring greatness in me, Alhaji.
Alhaji?
I am just rehearsing there.
Rehearsing for what?
A life-changing and inspiring meeting.
With who?
Alhaji Aliko Dangote.
With the FGNI app and just 500 naira, you stand a chance to meet one-on-one with Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest man, and win cash prizes. As the Be Inspired meetings give Nigerians a chance to meet one-on-one with icons. To qualify for the draw, download FGNI app from Apple Store or Google Play Store. Go to the Be Inspired section and follow the instructions. Cost of travel and accommodation of all winners within Nigeria will be borne by the organizers. Terms and conditions apply.
Proudly supported by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
And to business news. Total deposits from federal and state governments with the Central Bank of Nigeria rise to 20.6 trillion naira at the end of 2017. Muplanda Kok has more on business news.
for joining us on this segment. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has revealed that total deposits by the federal and state governments, financial institutions and others increased by 4.7% to 20.6 trillion naira at the end of November 2017 from 19.67 trillion naira the previous month. The CBN, in its latest monthly statement of assets and liabilities, disclosed that deposits from federal and state governments rose by 1.6%. Deposits by financial institutions dropped by nearly 2%, while other deposits in the month increased by 6.5%. Nigeria's growth rate, which was at 0.65% by the second quarter of 2017, rose to 1.4% at the end of the third quarter as it exited recession. With this year being a pre-election year, an analyst spoke to Business News on sustaining the growth level or otherwise experience a decline in 2018.
A lot of the good things that we put in place that allow to come out of the recession must be sustained and followed. We shouldn't, because of the election, relax that the various negotiations that will actually give Nigeria a command of presence in the global economy, particularly with respect to trade and investment, must be addressed. And on the domestic front, the basic monetary policy and the fiscal policy, they are only tidied up to actually ensure that the productive sector of the economy, they continue producing well and creating confidence.
To conclude this segment, here's a look at closing figures of trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange as it ended on a positive note today.
A bit on sports and happenings around the world shortly. Don't go away.
The time has come for Nigeria to take her rightful place in world sports with the first national grassroots sports festival to discover and prepare sport talents and develop future world champions for Nigeria. The festival date is 3rd to 10th March 2018. Venue is the National Stadium, Abuja, packages A and B. This is the opportunity for you to promote your brand through the festival. For broadcast sponsorship, which include live broadcasts, highlight shows, and TV fans show, contact the Chairman, Chief Coordinator, Angelo Peter I. Elosia, or Nick Onyishi. Organizers, Grassroots International Sports Academy and LOP Worldwide Television. Endorsed by the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. Broadcast partner, NTA.
With gratitude to God for a life well spent, we announce the transition to glory of Chief Olawale Babatunde Oloyede, which occurred on the 18th of December 2017, aged 70 years. Funeral arrangements are as follows. Tuesday, 9th January 2018, service of songs at 5th Avenue, Old Close, Festac Town, Lagos at 5 p.m. Thursday, 11th January 2018, wake keep at 45 Ilawe Road, Inyekiti, Ekiti State at 5 p.m. Friday, 12th January 2018, funeral service holds at the All Saints Anglican Church, Inyekiti at 11 a.m. Interment follows at the church cemetery. Reception will hold at the All Saints Primary School field in Yekiti. Chief Tunde Oloyede is survived by his wife, Bimbo Oloyede, children and grandchildren. Announcer Olatunde Oloyede, son for the family.
And from the global scene, state of emergency declared in some parts of USA after heavy snow and high wind hit the country. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday has more on the foreign news segment.
Thanks for joining us on this segment. We begin on a sad note where rescue workers say A South African train crash has left 4 people dead and injured 40 others before it caught fire after colliding with a truck. Evacuated passengers were seen standing on the roadside with luggage. Eyewitness says the collision occurred near Kronstadt City in Free State Province after the truck failed to stop at a crossing. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of people have been affected by power cuts and air travel has been disrupted across Western Europe. 2 people drowned on Spain's northern coast after being swept away by a huge wave. For the first time, the Dutch authorities shut all 5 of its major sea barriers. Authority later reopened 2. Winds of up to 147 kilometers per hour were recorded in France. 15 people were injured in incidents across the country. Parks were also closed because of worries over fallen tree branches. And San Bernardino County Sheriff Department has charged a California driver with single-punch murder of a 70-year-old off-duty sheriff's deputy who braked to avoid 2 dogs and was hit at the rear in a minor crash by the driver, who then got out and delivered a fatal punch. Sheriff Deputy Lawrence Faust never regained consciousness and was taken off life support 2 days later after the New Year Eve attack. And that's it on this segment of the news.
And a bit of sports. Youth and Sports Development Minister Solomon Dalung calls for hands on deck for the growth of the sector as Andy Murray withdraws from the 2018 Australia Open. Tamara Ebiwe brings us